Okay, you guys. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Jeneth Blackert,
And I'm Leonka Reyna.
and today we are talking with Karin Tom
Tobiason. That's
Tobiason.
right.
Where did my brain go? And
And
we,
and she'll be talking to us about how to really channel in our energies and really calling back our power, especially as empaths and healers. Really fun show. Excited to get started with her. But before we do all that, let's just do a little check-in. Jenneth, how are you doing? How was your weekend? So you know your hosts.
Valentine's Day was so fun. We saw Captain America.
Nice.
Ugh, that was so good.
Yeah, we did too over
Yeah.
the weekend.
I had some really cool freaking mystical stuff happen too.
Okay, please do tell. Like, get us to the good stuff.
Well, one of the things that, I mean, this should be no surprise, and I hope this feels really light for you guys, but one of the things that I had happen was most of you know that I'm a hands-on body worker, but I also sometimes ask my husband to do some of his bodily magic. So he was working on my leg. It has some disruption, dysfunction. It's so much better. And while he was working on it, it almost seemed like I caught the energy that he uses too. And so I was using both my awesomeness energy and his energy to really direct the what we're requesting of the body. And I thought that was really, really fun and really cool. So I thought I would share, but it gets even further than that because I then went into meditation and asked my channel about it. And she's like, yeah, you're using a different part of your brain. Uh, she said, what do you think all that junk DNA is about that people talk about? That's our evolution.
Ah, Joe's clapping his hands. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that feels really light.
I know. Doesn't it feel light? And it just was like, see? In the end, basically our technology will get there. And it just, I don't know. I just sometimes
Yeah,
when little magic happens like that, I'm just like a giddy schoolgirl. It just is, oh my God, finally, like a complete biological upgrade is like what I kept saying I wanted. And I felt like I got that and the reason I felt that I got that, not just with that area, but also I was having like this tight neck, and I shared over Christmas that my thumbs were hurting from too much gaming. And all of that has gone away in the last 2 days. And I just am like all liquid and lovely. And so that's a little bit for your morning brew woo.
nice, nice. I like that. Morning brew with woo from Jenneth. That's cute. I wanted to also say, like, talking about the DNA, a little bit about some of the stuff that you've been talking about. I just started reading Gray Braden's new book, Pure Human,
Mm,
and it's all about the battle. We are the prize. He says like we are the prize, and it's the battle for our humanness. And if you're not familiar with Gray Braden, I would definitely check him out. This new book, one of the chapters, though, Jenneth, when you were talking about that, it says, so chapter 2, and right in, he says, who are we with a question mark? And it says the ancient message coded in our DNA. I mean, right? You talked about the junk DNA. What is that all about? Right. And your channel is even talking to you about it. And I felt like even in this book, he starts to bring forth a lot of that information and these really really encoded ancient messages that are within us, and
mm,
we are that, right? So that's really exciting, and it's exciting times that it's really coming forth for you, for me, in literacy, and for many more of us who are just asking to receive, right? We can get the answers if we ask. So that's super exciting.
yeah.
And just to go into a little bit of space weather news, since I have the mic right now. So, Mystic Space Weather News, we have just a little bit of update. There's a slight chance of geomagnetic storms today as a CME left the Earth on February 15th. It might graze the Earth's magnetic field, but that's a pretty low confidence forecast. But the bigger news is this asteroid, 2024, the YR4 update. And I'll just read a little bit about what they put here because I don't want to paraphrase or get anybody all up in arms. Basically says the odds just increased again. The asteroid 2024 YR4 has now been increased to a 2.6 chance of hitting Earth on December 22nd, 2032, up
Mm.
from a 2.2% a week ago, and then up from a 1.3 in January. So the current probabilities are based on 368 observations spanning over 54 days. The growing arc of data is improving our knowledge as the asteroids orbit, and so far steadily increasing the odds of a strike. Now, that's the bad news. The good news, even if it does hit, the 2024 YR4 will not wipe us out. All good stuff. Good stuff, guys. With an estimated diameter of 40 to 70 meters. It's only a few times larger than the one that hit in Russia in 2013. That space rock exploded in the Earth's atmosphere, creating shock waves that shattered glass and windows. And I think many people who follow this stuff might remember, and injured people mainly because of the glass. The estimated size of 2024 YR4 reminds researchers that even more of the the impact, which were leveled in Russia in 1908. But you wouldn't want that to be, you just wouldn't want that to be where you are in ground zero. So the good news is that Earth would survive. It would, be a little bit more of an Earth pack. We know this because we are now monitoring all of the areas. So we have the ability to move people out of the way or make changes. But again, the probability for hitting is only a 2.2% chance of hitting Earth. But, at least we're watching all of these things and keeping a mindful eye. We can also dissipate when we always have our knowledge and just, make known what we want to happen in the world and for more people to have safety. And I also say in abundance. So the more people that are intending with our hearts for the best possible outcomes, we can change things. We have really, really beautiful, very, very equipped minds. And that is one thing that we have learned. And this is the great thing about knowing about all of these different things that are happening in our skies. And that's what I got from Mystic Space Weather News.
Thank you.
Yay.
Karin has joined us, so I'm going to pin her and we'll go ahead and get started. Karin, hello. Looks like you're muted right now. Still looks like you're muted.
There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
You
Oh
look
my God.
gorgeous.
As do you, my cool girls. I always just feel like I'm just part of the popular girls when you invite me back here.
Oh my
Yay.
gosh, we could probably talk to you every day and never like even cross topics, other than sometimes when we come back, we've got to welcome in more new people. So we like you just to give a nugget of where you've come from. But I think that most people are aware of you and really get what how you've downloaded the spiritual laws and really how you're helping people live by them every day, all day.
Yeah, I'm happy to do a little bit of a thumbnail on that. I'm so
Yeah.
used to looking at my own bio and like, oh, yeah, that was a good thing to say. I don't have it in front of me. So I'm an intuitive psychic. I'm also a medium, and I have access. I was given access to the Akashic Records as well. I had I'm going to just call it a near-death experience when I was about 30. And I'm calling it that because I've never had any words to describe what it was. I didn't almost die. I just got plucked up and was given a tour of heaven. It's the best way for me to describe it. And so they kind of downloaded the spiritual law. They showed me how everything kind of works. And, and then they kind of drop kicked me back out of heaven, back down. And they also told me what my life purpose was. And at the time, they told me that I was to be a spiritual teacher and that I was supposed to help teach people how to live abundantly and joyfully. And I literally, in my little tool brain, I went right to the Bible thumping, crazy women on the street corner. And I just went, I think not. Okay.
Wow. I didn't realize you did it that way at first. Missed that.
Yeah, it just like I just didn't understand. I just didn't have the understanding. I didn't have the worldliness. And so I chose to go into corporate America, and I built a couple of companies. One of which was a very, very large PR firm that I worked with celebrities and really high-end clients. And my big deal, I used all my psychic abilities. I was able to get 6 unknowns onto Oprah at a time that nobody could do it. And then I had a near-death experience again. And this time they brought me in to show me just the misery of my life of not abiding to my life purpose.
Mm.
And gave me an option to step out. And I chose to stay. They showed me this life, and I just said, yes, ma'am, so let's do it. So here I am.
Yeah.
I feel very, very blessed. I have been given many, many tours of heaven. And I've also got to say, it's taken many, many years. I'm really, really old. And it's taken many years for me to unparse what they actually showed me and to expand it with today. So I feel honored that I get to share my interpretation of how to be, and I'm just going to say, how to be the most elegant ascended master on this planet right now.
Love it.
And I love that you guys were doing all of the, kind of the watch in the skies, the weather report on the energies, because wow, I don't even know how to track that because it's wild.
It is wild, right?
Oh my gosh, and changes so quickly. Um, so that's who I am. Um, I and I am honored to be invited to come speak with you. What are we talking about today? Ascension, where we're
Uh,
energetically.
we could
Yeah, so
might
that's
go
what we have in
wherever,
our
but
notes.
I also
Okay,
had
I
that
couldn't
we were
find
going to
my notes. Okay.
I
So
had that we were going to talk a little bit about helping light workers master some of the energies that might be creating chaos as a light worker and an intuitive as well.
okay, wonderful. Thank you for that. I don't mean to come in completely unprepared, but they
You're fine.
they do it. Um, so you know what? I'm going to climb right on top of the backs of all the science that you've been talking about. And anybody who knows me, I am not scientific. But one of the things that my guides have shown me just recently about this ascension energy, the very first thing that they want you to know about this ascension energy is that the energy is changing. We are changing. They are helping us change in really, really dramatic ways. And it's not just to torture us. It's actually, they are teaching us how to be the God creators that we volunteered to come forth and be. So I'm going to just, for those who are not familiar with my work, I'm going to start right in the very beginning. I'll run through it, and then I'm just going to talk about what we're expected to do with these energies. Here's my science piece. What they actually showed me was when the very first energy started coming down, we were just made very aware that we were a solid. And I like to refer to it as being kind of like an iceberg. When that energy came down, it literally came down. The energy was very, very high, high frequency. our slave shackles were cut, and we were all of a sudden asked not to identify as our slave self that had to push and move and work hard, but we were to start identifying as our God creator self. We are all a part of God. We have come down to learn how to create as God created. And the way that I love to describe this to everybody, I've never read the Bible. But they make me, they always download me with Bible things. And so all that we are doing right now is they talk about God came down and he created the whole universe in 6 days. And then on the seventh day, he napped. They never talked about what God did on the eighth day. And what God did is he looked around all of his creations and he went, oh, I can do better than that. That's not giving me any pleasure. This is not in my best interest. And went around and started creating. So I want you all to identify as being God on day 8. You have no directions. My guides made it very, very clearly that we've actually come to do this. We volunteered to do this. We volunteered. We brought karma in. We brought ancestral stuff. We drug so much crap in order for us to be able to get wounded, heal ourselves, heal all of this, and then go out in the world and make a huge, huge difference. So our shackles have been cut. We're trying to learn how. We are not trying. They are guiding us as to how to be a God creator, and how we literally do that. Simply stated, is we don't go up to our teams and, oh, please, please, please tell me my next step. We are equal to them. The only difference between us, each one of you, your guides and angels, the ascended masters, the archangels, the gods and goddesses, God, all there is, the only difference is that we volunteered to come in, take a body, and collect data as to what we will need in order to bring peace on earth on this planet at this time. So when we go up to them and go, oh, please, 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 please tell me my next step, they literally throw up their hands and just got, you tell us what you need. We don't know what you need. We haven't been down there. We don't know. We don't know what you need to feel happy and peaceful. We don't know. So you tell us. So when we are communicating now as gods, and I always say start right at the beginning, just let them know how you want to feel. Just let them know how you want to feel. If you're struggling with, with health growth challenges, I'm just going to call them. Just let them know. I want to feel a little bit more comfortable. I want to feel just a little bit better. I want to feel sparkling health within my body. If you are on a financial struggle, I want to feel financially safe. I want to feel financially protected. I want to feel plentiful. That's it. Let them know how you want to feel.
And I would like to add, you don't just let them know what you want to feel, but you start to become that feeling already from my awareness.
Yes, well, it's even better than that. So, with analyticals, they need proof.
Okay.
They need proof that this stuff works, because I'm just going, whoo, talk to the air, whoo, and everything's going to work out for you. Everything's going to be fine.
Yeah, so let me know.
Fluff, fluff. And I'm going to get into the energy in a little bit, but if you literally let them know how you want to feel. Let them know that you're ready to take your next step. Let them know that you're going to move forward, and then let them know, go ahead and do this for me, and then I want proof from you of having just asked for this. And I want it immediately. And when that proof comes in, and that proof might be as simple as just seeing a little feather, finding a dime. It may be a huge shift in how you feel. You just, thank you. Show me more clearly. Keep showing me more proof. The more you're in a constant conversation, the better it is. Okay. So in this process of learning how to create, the huge big lesson for us, they wanted us to be in as our icebergs are melting, they want us to be in as much still point as possible. And they want us very aware of every thought we have and every emotion we have. And I call them spooky wookies. Any spooky wookies that come in, they want you very aware of it. Because you're a God now and you are creating. Spiritual law number one, according to me, a thought becomes a thing, our words become a thing, and our emotions and our heart blossoming gives birth to a brand new light, to a brand new life. So if you're sitting around in whatever you're doing, and you have this little worry niggle come in, this little just like, ooh, what happens? Ooh. All they want you to do is, you're a God now. Do you want that? Does that make you feel good? No, just send it back to the light. Spiritual law number two, according to me. Everything sent back to the light must go. So send it back to the light to be transmuted back to love and light. Take a deep breath. If it was a really big, scary picture, go crawl under the coveys, take a nap, reboot, reset, let them move all the energy out on your behalf. On the other hand, if while you're sitting in the still point, you have this beautiful memory of a time you were really happy or you had really done something beautiful. And what they want you to do with that is like, oh, I like that. I like that. And it will expand, it will get clearer. Your emotions, the minute that your emotions get involved with it, and ooh, I kind of feel like my tail's wagging and I'm a puppy and I can't sit still. I'm kind of excited about this. And your heart blossoms. You have just given birth to something brand new. They want you to just like, yes, you will see it clearly, you will feel it clearly, you will know it feeling. And it's a way that they are training you right now to be more in touch with your clairs. You are using your clairs to let them know what you want, and you are using your clairs to let them know what you're here to heal. And the guides want you all to know that every one of you here is a healer, a beautiful healer, and because of that being in your blueprint, it just means that you attract a lot of random just stuff that needs healing. So you do not need to figure out who, when, where, what, how, why you, what, how you might be flawed as to have attracted it. Just all you need to do is know you don't want it any longer and go, up, nope. Back to the light you go, you bad boy. Pow. There's no correct language or anything. Just send it all back to the light. Go take a nap.
So Karin, for all the newbies and for all like the younger people, I think they might say send all those randos back to the light. Like, oh no, don't let all those randos come through.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Exactly. So that was all the first wave, and that we were trying to navigate. Most of us felt exhausted because the frequency was way too high for our bodies. And all that we are doing right now is taking care of our bodies. We are to take care of our bodies the same way that we take care of our cars. Well, I don't, because I don't know how. But, and we want to make sure that we give our bodies everything that it needs, all the rest it needs, all the water it needs. We really take beautiful care because we do not want to be on this planet riding around in a jalopy. We want to be in a Maserati.
That's right. No jalopies here too. So no randos, no jalopies.
No, randos, no jalopies. Is that even a word any longer? It's
My
so
question,
old-timey. I
I
love it.
know. My question for you, Karin, is what is one of those things, and real quickly, 2 seconds, like that you've seen that people do that is not caring of their body? One of the things that we might be doing, is it like loss of water, loss of rest? Like, what is those things, like as you worked with tons of people that we're just doing and then tripping ourselves up real quickly that we could just really quickly mitigate and we would be back on a better path?
Beautiful. Thank you. Two things. You're tired, take a nap. No getting up in your head, well, I'm being lazy and I've got this big to-do list. And if you're tired, take a nap. Number one. Number two, what I see a lot of people do is they have come to believe that being spiritual and being in service means that they give, they give, they give. All their energy is out to the point where they're just they're strung out. And so what the guides want you to do is get up every day. This is take care of yourself first. Take care of yourself first. Take care of yourself first. So you have energy to go out. They're going to tell me a biblical story about how this works. And I talk to to a lot of healers. Once Jesus had mastered unconditional self-love, where he loved himself so much, and in his heart, his light was able to spread out. And when he and his entourage would come up to these little villages, not only did the light get there before he did, so people knew, but they said, I think, that the streets were filled with the blind and the crippled. And they were there because they knew if they were to witness the love of Jesus, they would be healed. And Jesus never stopped and bandaged people up, didn't put casts on legs, didn't give people aspirin or whatever, however you do the healing kind of stuff. No energy out. It was his light that healed. And that is where you are all going. Put all that energy in. If you are on a challenge right now with health stuff, if you're on, money stuff, if you're on, looking for a beautiful partner on love stuff, anything that's usually it's because too much energy is going out, not enough is going in. Put all that love in, put all that love in, put all that love in before you do anything else. If you have a screaming child in front of you, ignore me, but put all that love in first. And that is what we're being taught to do. 10 minutes a day will change your life, but that is what we're expected to do.
Can I ask some more questions about this? Because this is so much easier said than done. I really feel like I've had a lifetime of pushing and forcing and making it happen. And I've finally come into all of me and become more of this surrender for love. And I I feel that people hear this, but then they're like, I want it, I want it, I want it, but they're not becoming it. Do you have some advice for the easiest, fastest way to become more of this? Like, it's almost for me like a love for my life. Like, I have to love living, I have to love creating with these frequencies instead of fighting for forcing and being frustrated a lot. Um, what advice do you have for this?
Um, let's see. I have a lot of advice. Let me try to simplify it and take it down. So, the reason that a lot of us have a problem just putting this energy in is because we're still running slave stuff. And if we don't get up and work, if we don't get up and do this, if we don't hit all of these marks, we're going to starve, we're going to be homeless, we're going to be, all of these things. And so the greatest practice to do, you're a God creator, so you're going to create your world. And what I would recommend that everybody do, well, for putting love in, I have two things for this. For loving yourself, I want you to identify what gives you pleasure. If you absolutely love to get out in nature, and that's where you go into still point, you make sure you get out into nature every day. And that doesn't mean need to be a 5-hour hike. It doesn't mean it just go out, just enjoy nature, even if you just grab your tea or coffee and go sit outside and enjoy the birds and the nature. But you'll go into still point, you'll lose time, you'll get into that beautiful peace, and that's the very beginning. If you love whatever you love to do, spend your time doing that. If you're an artist, grab a sketch pad, pull in a canvas. If you love cooking, whatever you love to do, it doesn't matter. Just do that first in the days. I want to talk about the story. When my guides came to me quite a while ago and just said, listen, we have a huge miracle for you. It's going to come in, and we want to make sure it comes in as a miracle. And I'm going to tell you, everybody here has created many, many miracles to come in. And what my guides told me is what we need you to do is pull out that to-do list that you have that you've never nicked anything off of it ever. Everyone else in your life's to-do lists are done because you make sure their lists are done. Yours are not done. You have nothing ticked off. We want you to spend the next, umpteen time. We want everything off that list, even stuff you don't care about any longer. And the reason that we want you to do that, we have a miracle coming in, and we want that miracle to be a miracle. And I'm just like, I have no idea why I listened. No idea. I went ahead and did it and ticked the stuff off. Took about 30 days for me, many hours a day. Sometimes I would go to bed and say, what time do I have to get up tomorrow in order to fulfill my commitment to myself? And sometimes it was earlier, and I ticked everything off that list. And at the very, very end of my list, what I realized is nobody cared that I got the stuff done for me. What they cared about is I woke up every day asking myself, what do I need to do for myself first? I went to bed every night. When do I have to get up? How am I going to arrange my day to give to myself first? And then I'm going to say that at the end of that time, I had 3 major miracles come in that had I not learned to put myself first, this would have been the most burdensome thing I have ever experienced. So just kind of put yourself first. Put yourself first. Doesn't take a lot of time. Put yourself first, and you will create the energy to come in first. So more will come in. More love is going to come in for you. You'll feel more love. Greater health, just the miracles and the coincidences will just come in. The second thing that I want to bring up for those of us that have more complicated lives where we're hitting marks and it's like, well, I can't relax, I can't just and what my guides say is start getting used to carving out what your day is going to look like and feel like. And the very best way that I can describe this is I'm going to do it in a very simple way. I have to go to the grocery store. I hate going to the grocery store. I hate going, all that energy, all those people. I just like, it's, parking. And so before you go ahead and do a little rendezvous with your team. Come up, belly up team, wings up, belly up. Here's what I'm going to do. And here's what I want to experience. I'm going to go to the store. I'm going to leave in about 10 minutes. And what I want is when I get into my car, I turn on my radio. I want my favorite song to come on. I want to drive down the street. I want the seas to part. I want green lights the whole way. I want to drive up I want to get parking right in front. And I don't even want to have to arm wrestle the cart. I want somebody to give me a cart. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to have wonderful experiences with people only, smiley, happy, wonderful. I'm not going to forget anything. Everything I'm like, oh, I didn't write that down. I forgot. There it is. It's in. I'm going to go into checkout, no line. I'm going to come out. Some really, a cute little, cart collector is going to load my bags in my car. I'm going to turn it on. My second favorite song is going to come on. I'm going to back up. Seas are going to part, green lights all the way. I'm going to come home and I'm going to feel exhilarated that I have just created the life that I want. I'm going to feel exhilarated.
So much. I used to do so much rehearsal like that with some specifics, and oh my goodness, that's so awesome.
Well, yeah. So we've all done it before, but just go ahead and do that and start practicing and paying attention to when things happen. And if you have one red light, don't worry about it. It doesn't mean you're not perfect. It just means they've got, better plans for you, divine timing for something even better. But just plan out how you want to experience, how you want to feel. And with everything in your life, and especially the stuff that's tough. So, and I love that you said that when I had to go into major corporate, boardrooms, and I had to do these huge presentations, I would practice, I would like learn every word, I would practice in the mirror, I would like practice my like slow down to make it look like I was thinking of the next thing. I mean, it was planned. Just because I was so afraid to fail. Okay. So yeah, just do that, but have more fun with it.
Yeah, that's so great. Thank you.
Thank you.
I know that life can be very chaotic at some point. Well, let's talk more about ascension and really mastering some of these frequencies so that we can create more of the life that we want. Um, where do
Oh,
you want to go? Was that a good enough
Yeah, dive
question?
in. I mean, I, there's so many questions that I could have about ascension, but I think, you were kind of onto a path where you were telling us like how it all kind of works.
And
Um,
we do have a hand up too, if you'd like to
yeah.
take some colors.
oh, certainly. No, I love questions. So we can do that. And then I'll just go back into how
Sure.
it all works for the
Yeah.
next.
Great. So Shara, you're up. Do you want to ask a question?
I really didn't mean to put my hand up. I don't know how that happened.
Oh,
Maybe I'm supposed to. I don't know.
Maybe you're
Maybe you're
supposed
supposed
to. I
to.
don't
It
know.
just, I mean, honestly, I didn't touch anything to do
okay.
that.
Well,
Okay.
Shara, if there's a question on your heart, what would it be?
Well, Jenna said, talking about, I wrote it down. And then I set it aside about becoming it. That struck, how do we know we're becoming it? Am I becoming it?
You have no choice. You're walking right into your destiny. You're being guided right into your highest and best destiny. You can't make a mistake. You are just becoming it every day. And they are teaching you how
Mhm.
to actually manage the energy. So you're doing it perfectly. They want you to know that if there's something that you want that has maybe been fleeting, it's not that you don't deserve it. It's not that, you have to do something and be more special to earn it. It means it's in your destiny.
Well,
And
wait, wait, let's talk about this for a
yeah.
minute because there are people who have this, it's a lie, but this inherent unworthiness throughout their entire life. And
Mhm.
they don't actually create what they want because they don't think they're worth it. They don't think they deserve it. They don't think that they're good enough. So, I mean, you saying that, I love it. Like it feels
Mhm.
really light, but I also feel like there are these constructs that we've put on our personalities, our belief systems that are keeping us from actually having that.
Is that the slave stuff that you keep referring to?
This partially, but so we come down here. That all that is past life karma. It's spooky wookies. All of that is generational, ancestral stuff that needs healing. All of that is universal stuff that needs healing. And then we also come in because we are so powerful. If you are here now, you have done this many times. You're very, very powerful. We've also volunteered to come in and get completely wounded because from the other side, we looked down and said, well, why wouldn't I just drop down and go, ta-da, peace on earth? Because that's how powerful we are. But then they showed us, our council showed us that the human beings grow their soul through adversity. So we said, wound me then. I want all my power to be taken away. I want all my light. I don't want to be able to see my light at all. I want to experience what that feels like so that I can heal it piece by piece by piece. And then once I heal it, then what I'm going to do is go out and share that with other people. And so the people who come in that are unworthy have had been persecuted in many, many lives. I call them all my little witches that were burnt at the stake and warlocks. Having those horrible thoughts on I'm dying because I was a healer and now they're saying I was a heretic and maybe I was wrong and maybe I wasn't as good as I thought I was and maybe I was really being led down and we bring that in to heal it. Okay. So we've got a lot of persecution, we've got all of this stuff. And that is why it is so important that when these spooky wookies come in, just send them back to the light. No information needed. Uh,
Literally, but don't you think, Karen, that that's a mindset that you've gotten yourself into now? Like you're like, that's another stupid shit kind of thing. And you have that kind of belief system, that being that, great, I'm sending it back to the light. And I get that that is the case and it works, but I'm trying to say, what if somebody like obsesses in their mind? You're saying it doesn't matter. You still send it back to
I
the light until your brain lets go of it, basically, or your
yeah.
heart or your energy system.
Yeah,
Okay.
all you're doing is just making space for the stuff that you want to come in. And
Mhm.
all of this stuff is everything that you have been led to believe is true about yourself. Who do you think you are?
Right.
Don't shine your light, you're attracting bugs. What are you doing? And it's, it was from our caretakers who loved us so much. They were afraid we were going to fail. They were afraid we were going to get in trouble rather than not to play, play full out.
Mhm.
Nobody on the other side has ever said, I wish I would have pulled the reins back a little bit more. Just wish I would have pulled it back.
Right.
So we
Yeah,
all
I mean,
come.
that is our limitation, is that full self-expression, that fully engaged in each moment, that being fully alive and in love with each moment that we're living here. That is the missing piece. And I do think that really falling in love with yourself again is the way. I'm loving
Yeah,
this conversation so much. I know that I'm being a little bit of a,
love it. Love it.
okay.
No, and no, I mean you're advocating for the communities because
Yeah.
a lot of people just say, oh well you're just lucky and it's easy for you. And it wasn't.
Well,
It
it's become
wasn't.
easy for you, wouldn't you say? That's why I'm trying to get into
Yeah.
maybe that piece of you when it wasn't, when you were doing all this efforting and this trying type of energies. And what was it that you think shifted you? Was it the NDE?
I think
The um whew, um the NDE definitely had a major shift on me. But for me, it was like I was so miserable. I was so scared. And my life was very hard, as probably everybody here can say. I'm very, very difficult. I'm incredibly difficult. I have suffered through everything that I am now helping people with. And it is because I knew as a soul I needed to experience everything to know what it felt like and to know that it can be healed and changed. Every moment of our day, we have a decision. We have a decision to choose the light and love or fear. And all I'm saying is just simplifying it. If you're feeling fear, if you're feeling worry, send it back to the light. What most of us are doing, I'm going to talk about um, where the ascension energies are right now. But what many of us are doing is we create this beautiful world, we get excited about it, and then it comes in and it starts lifting up all the stuff that needs healing within us in order to embrace it and allow it to come in. And so if we look at the spooky wookies and I'm not good enough and I'm not lucky and who do I think I am as just a spooky wookie, let's just go ahead and send this out to the light. And just for giggles, let's see how I feel after I do it. Let's do it. And you train yourself to just make the decision to choose love rather than fear. And so many of us were such good slaves. It's like we know if there's a spooky wookie coming in, we better go in and tackle it, take it down to the ground and kill it before it overtakes us. We don't need to do that any longer. Just send it back to the light, crawl under the coveys, and just see how you feel 10 minutes later when you wake up from your nap. Okay. So I'm not saying
Love it.
just trust me and follow me, but go ahead and practice with it. So that's all that we're doing is removing all of this drama, trauma, pain, fear, and sending it out. So the reason that they just want us to send it back to the light and just And like, just show me proof of the benefit of me just doing that. Just please do, because I'm not trusting anything right now. And go ahead and do that and send it out. What they don't want you to do is do what every good healer does. You have a spooky wookie that comes in that's, it looks like it's going to take you down. And you go, oh, okay, I need to find the flaw within myself that needs healing in order, and then I'm going to heal it, and then this will go away. And you go in to look for the flaw. And I'm telling you, this last dump of ascension energy, you're just light. You're a column of light. There's no flaw. But what you're doing then is you're going in as the good healer that you are. You're going in and you're looking for the flaw. It's not there, so you recreate it. You rework yourself. Then you heal yourself and you feel good. And then when the same thing comes up, it's that, that same bad song on the radio that keeps coming around on that karma thing. And then we look at it and go, I thought I've healed this so many times. Maybe I'm not that powerful. Maybe I can't do it. But you haven't healed the big picture coming in. And most of that, a lot of it's ancestral, a lot of it's past life, a lot of it's universal, and a lot of it, we are living in spooky wooky times. We're really living in spooky wooky times. So if you don't like how it feels, you just send it back, send it back. And I don't mean
that is the way to ascension, wouldn't you say? Like that, because these are ascension symptoms in a way.
Yes.
And okay, I get it. I love it. Yay.
Karin, how long would you say it's been since we've had this new kind of wave of the column of light, where we don't have to go in and therapy would have us believe that we have to go and find those places and heal them all out and take all these years of therapy and coaching and whatnot. How long has it been when we got this new wave of ascension energies, where we now can just send that back to the light? I mean, it's super empowering, but I want to believe it.
Okay. It's always been there.
Okay.
And people describe it. My language, the language that I use is just send it back to the light, just because if it's not easy, I don't want to go. My guides know that. When they first showed it to me, they showed it to me as, do you remember those what those little toys we all had as kids that we drew a little picture with the little knobs? Do you remember? Etch-a-sketch.
Yeah.
And if we created a picture on our Etch-a-sketch and we didn't like it, what did we do? We shook it, sent it back to the light, and we recreated one. So all we are here to do is learn how to create on our, I can never remember the name of the Etch-a-sketch, and that's it. So this is my language. Other people have other more scientific, more, Greg Braden is so scientific. He's such a brilliant national treasure, really.
Yeah.
But he's so, I just like zoom out of my body with his stuff, because it's just like, yeah, DNA and
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, we're all doing the same thing. And
Yeah.
everyone here who has clients, or that you're healing, or you're working with people, you have your own language. We're all working with the same law. And how we're doing is filtering it through our own education and our own background and our own everything that we know, all of our experiences, so that our words are going to resonate with people who are going to resonate with us, if that makes any sense.
Absolutely. And in fact, it's something that we talk about all of the time, why we present different people, and what, how Jeneth and I present differently, and what we say might land differently with the different people. And it all goes through our own paradigms and how the frequency matches. So totally get that. And I do love the way you speak, because it is so simplistic. But some of the slave part of me, or some of the old school part of me, wants everything to be such hard work. And let me tell you, I don't need that anymore.
No, you don't. No, you don't. But that's where we got our value. That's where we got our attaboys. That's where people like, wow, you're the best slave I've ever had. You're, wow, hardest working slave. And worked ourselves to the point where we got sick and they threw us a party and baked us a cake. I mean, we got a lot of attaboys. We're not getting much
I'm dying
attaboys
laughing.
for this
Yes.
changing energy. Okay.
Well, and to be honest, that's its own spooky wooky if you need that praise to move forward in your life. You
Yes,
should want to
all of
move forward because you're in love with your life, you're engaged, you're in full expression. I mean, that's how you should be in love with your life. It's not because you were like, oh, somebody attaboyed me. Yay for me.
Yay
Because
for
that
me, I'm
would be,
special.
to be honest, that would be a symptom of unworthiness because you needed that praise. You needed somebody else to be proud of you or tell you you did a good job.
Or conversely, to tell you that you didn't, to not tell you you didn't do a good job. Like, for example, I'm really excited about my life, love where I'm going, but some of the minutia of what I do day in, day out sometimes can catch me up. And so I'm like always trying to look for, did I not drop the ball? Did I not do something wrong? And staying outside. I don't need the attaboy. I just don't want somebody to sit there and say, I didn't do enough for them, or I didn't do enough for something, or even myself. So I'm like, gosh, like I love my life. I love what I'm doing, but like it's the little, nitty gritty. What do you say to somebody that's like kind of falling in that? When you were talking about get rid of that to-do list, I was like, yes.
Yeah, well, just hand it. Yeah, just hand it to them to do. You just take three things on your list, hand them everything else, and just you do your three things. No biggie. I want to look at it as this is an opportunity to grow your soul. So you're out there, and this is very natural for you because you took on the role in your family. You were the problem solver and you were the healer in your family. And if you dropped a ball, it was your fault. It wasn't the fault that you were juggling like a circus performer, but
Yes.
so this is your opportunity every time you think, uh-oh, somebody's not going to be happy with me. I didn't do this right. I want you to go, yippee, something to heal. I have carried this for way too long. Yippee.
Will do.
Send it
Yeah,
back.
will do.
Okay. So what's happening with the light coming on the planet right now is we went from iceberg that melted, and now the energy feels melty. We feel like we're more liquid. Our light has actually spread out further than we are comfortable with, that we are able to feel like we can control. And again, this ascension energy is coming down to teach us how to be the God creators that we wanted to be. So right now, we're very watery and things aren't quite as clear. And our guides are not coming through the way that they did yesterday. And what they're teaching us to do is, as human beings with with God's source in a human body on planet Earth, what we are learning how to do is create with our emotions. They want us aware of our emotions. So how that's going to feel is we're going to get frequencies, just tiny little frequencies. And they want us really at still point. So we're very aware of the frequencies. If they don't feel good, send them back to the light. Just get them out of there. If they feel good, then engage emotionally with it, or you will feel your emotional center engage, and you'll kind of feel like, ooh, I feel a little bit more hopeful than I did 2 minutes ago. I like that. Yeah, I'm actually kind of getting downright excited. I think I have a bubble of joy that just happened. I haven't felt that in a while. And they want you to feel it. And as you feel it, it grows, and then you will get a clear picture or a knowing or a feeling, or you'll hear it will become clear, and then just know that you have given birth to that. But they're teaching us how to create as through our emotions and our heart. And when our heart blossoms from what we are experiencing, we've given birth. Step 2, we give birth, it comes in. This is all energy. We're just moving molecules here. That's it. And then it's going to push out all the spooky wookies. Oh, what if I make people, what if I can't do this? What if I'm just kind of, think I can do this? I'm not lucky. This is not for me. Yippee, something to heal. This is an opportunity for you to grow your soul in a way that would have taken 100 lives to do. Okay, let me talk about the next flow of energy. I'm trying to watch my time. The time, not the time, but the next energy that has come down. Some of us are already feeling it, and I'm going to call it. We've gone from solid to liquid. This is my science. This is it, and now we're air. Okay.
So basically, we're just an ice cube at the beginning.
We're just an ice cube that melts, and then we evaporate, and then we become all with one. And what happens when that energy comes in, and we are addressing, we've got the spooky wookies that come in. My experience with that came in. I had a huge picture from my childhood that just I could not. I have a lot of them, but it came in and I just like, oh, I need to feel this. And I'm really angry about this. I'm angry that I wasn't seen. I wasn't heard. I was pushed aside. I was angry that blah, 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 blah. And I literally felt it leave my body. I felt the steam come up through my body, blast through my crown chakra, kind of like a teapot, and literally just I heard a sonic boom and tapped back into my body, and I was healed. And I'm going to say I was raised in a family with addicts and mental illness. I mean, this thing healed, and I literally am at so much peace. I've never been at this much peace. So that is where we're looking at. Or that is where we're going. And just know that wherever you're at, they're like teaching you how to manage the energy, how to move the molecules. But all they want you to do is you are on day 8, God, a piece of God. All you're doing is, oh, I can do better. That's a crap show. I just need to, send all that back to light, all back to the light. We need to recreate that. Just something that's going to make me feel more joyful, happy, strong, empowered, and important to myself. So.
Yeah, I guess I call that a Kundalini awakening. Like I've had those happen when I'm with other bodies or working on other bodies or in like group events with bodies, where a blanket will just like come through me like that. And then there's everything is changed, everything is different, and there's just like this like blanket of peace throughout me for days upon days upon days. And now I'm starting to just be in it. I just love how you describe that. That's just so beautiful how that, occurs. What do you think's really going on with that? And how can we live with more of that?
Well, we are still learning how to do it. Many
Okay.
of us, you're very good at it. You just kind of got this. Um,
I
many of us,
desperately want this kind of thing more of the time. I mean, it is so blissful and it's so fun to play in this way, and you make people's lives better too along the way. So I'm in love with this. And I'm in love with this conversation. I'm in love with everything, man.
yeah, but the way that we grow is through adversity on this planet. And so when you're going through a challenge, it's like, yippee, something for me to heal, something for me to experience. So I understand what it feels like. So when I'm working with somebody and they say, you don't understand, you're really lucky. You don't understand that you can go, no, I do understand. I do understand. You don't understand. I was sex trafficked from the time I was 2. You don't understand. And it's like, and we go through experiences to be able to say, I do know. I do understand. Maybe not specifically. I do understand. And I know you're going to be okay. I know you're going to be okay. And we all wanted to make sure nobody's story would be so horrific it would knock us off our own knowing, where we wrung our hands and went, I'm helpless.
Yeah, that so rings true, Karen. I can't tell you how many times as a young person I knew that I chose a lot of adversity in my past. I knew that because my mother was a drug addict, my father was a drug dealer, like, but I also knew that like I chose those parents. Like I was like, look how creative she is, look how like smart he is, and so as a happy kid, and I knew that I came in to be the joy for my family. But I also, just as you said, and I wanted just everybody to hear this too, I did feel like if I didn't keep that up, I did feel like I was dropping the ball for others. So that totally rang true. But now I realize that also that adversity really, really aligns me to be able to say, no, I get it. I understand. And I knew that it wasn't going to take me down. Now, did I forget at some points in my life? Yeah, I did, right? As I got to be an adult and that relationship with my mother, like really was it was, falling flat fast. But now it's beautiful and it's, because we both have changed. We both have done our own version of releasing it to the light. Very, very much true. But there are still times where I fall into that, that victim or that forgetting. How do you keep that kind of vigilance up? Like, how do you like remind yourself, like, hey, this isn't this we signed up for this art school. We signed up for these tasks here, and we're like the best of the best, and we are God energy. It's like sometimes I'll forget. It's
Yeah.
it's further and further between, but sometimes I have those like oh moments, right?
Well, we all have those moments. Yippee, something to heal, more to grow. Yeah, but one of the reasons why they want us in touch with our emotion is they want us to get addicted to being joyful and blissful and hopeful.
Woohoo! I'm down with that.
And we do that if it's kind of like if you look at like 0 to 100, and and if we're at 20, our goal is to get to 21. If our goal to move it up, and all we want to do, the big change, the big tipping point is when we go from 49 to 51, and then 51% of the time we remember the joy, and the pain feels so it's like, oh, glad to feel this. Yippee. I need a nap. This is, but we're learning how to be the joyful, blissful creators that we are. And you asked a question that I love this question, and I didn't answer it. Somebody asked it, but what's the purpose of all this? It's to teach us how to be God creators. But we are here at this time to teach the angelic realm, the gods and goddess, all there is, how to create as a god in a human body on planet Earth right now. It's never been done.
Wow. Wow.
So we needed to overcome a lot of stuff. We just needed to overcome. And yeah, and my prayer for everybody here is that tomorrow morning you wake up and you are addicted to bliss.
Thank
You
you.
are addicted to feeling good, feeling love, feeling sparkling, feeling like hopeful. And what do I have? What blessings do I have today? Ooh, I got something to heal. Let's get rid of that because I want bliss.
Well, Karin, I know that people want to continue this conversation. You've put together a special offer that almost is exactly like continuing this conversation. So I'd like to go ahead and bring that up and have you go through that. That's a good time. All right, here it is, you guys. And I will also put it in the chat.
Okay, this is the first time I've seen this. Let's see.
It's a pretty page.
Okay, so um, so there's two okay, so I have an 8-week course. So this is 8 weeks And 8 hours, it's already pre-recorded, that I literally talk about how to move the molecules, how to work with the energies, how to, and it really starts right at the beginning, as if your eyes are just open today and it's like, oh, I'm not an iceberg. I'm energy and I'm light. And how to navigate all of that. The very first module is really about learning really spiritual law, and I really only work with two. I like to keep it very simple, and the simple part of it is your thoughts are a thing, your words are a thing. Your emotions become a thing, and your heart blossoming gives birth. And so just understanding how you are creating as the God, how you are miscreating, how you are co-creating, and how you are expanding that creation to have a larger sense out into the world. I talk about why you're so sensitive. I talk about the healer blueprint and kind of like the downsides that a lot of people talk about it. And, it's just, I mean, we feel everything because we're here to heal. And that's why I have gone through so much, and we don't need to do that any longer. So it's just, just using spiritual law to work on this. The second week, we talk about the blessings of our greatest teachers, and and that would have been my family, and the situation that I came in, greatest teachers, to be able to find, bliss and joy even in the worst. I talk about why you're pushed, and I'm talking about your triggers, and why your triggers are actually your greatest teachers. And then kind of, more about how to work with them, how to understand being hair triggered constantly. Week 3 is I talk about the randos that kind of come in, the uncomfortable ones that come in. I call them like the universal doll parts that hook in, and they just feel awful. You don't know what they're doing. And just why they're coming in, and why they tap into your personal insecurities and feeling like you're not good enough, and just how to manage them the way that you were meant to manage them had you come forth with a fairy godmother to have taught you how to use your energy. So week 4 is really just course correcting, and expanding the whole energy thing out even larger, how energy comes in, whether or not it gets kicked into our system, whether or not it comes into our auric field, which then feels like old home week, where we connect in, which is dangerous, or if it just hooks on the outside. Or however it comes in. We are bombarded constantly, and just kind of training you to be aware of it, and just make sure that you are training your system how to automatically send everything to the light. That is your end goal. Week 5, I talk about mastering personal and property protection from dark energies. Any physical energies, any kind of spooky wookies like that, and how to invoke, spiritual law to do that. Let me also then, we're going to move on to week 6, which is, many of us have like a pattern of fear, a karmic loop, just this consistent thing that keeps coming back around, that causes us, discomfort, even hopelessness. And then let's go in and how the Akashic records can actually help you. And I don't remember in that if we actually bring you into an Akashic thing, but those are usually the circles, and the constant are normally fear-based from Akashic fears. And really, we really get into solidly between what is the energetics that are holding you away from what you really want, that's standing between you and at your highest and best. On week 7, we kind of pull everything together. I'm in that one. There's a lot of Q&A with a lot of questions and answers, which I find very helpful for most people. Nobody asks a question that they're the only ones asking it. And then also week 8, I'm also doing that as well. So it's an 8-week home study, digital, self-paced. It regularly, I think it's about $300. So we're doing it for $97 today. And all I can say is that it works. And I, one of you asked, how do you get out of this hopelessness? And it really is all that we are doing is training ourselves to be the God creators that we were meant to be. And that means training our system also to just do the work that we are learning how to do right now. So it's very, very important. It's very, very important if you are on a healer's path, if you are sensitive, if you feel as if everything's too tough, as if you feel as if nobody understands. I highly recommend this course. It's really going to change a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I could have used this a long time ago.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, this goes
Wow.
through like everything from really a true master of energy around this. I just think that this is really wow. I
Really
mean,
well laid out.
like,
It really is.
and I was reading through just a few of these. If you identify with these, I'm like, check, check, check.
Yeah, it's
We've been described as highly rebellious. Check.
right.
I mean,
Ah.
this was made for me in my 30s for sure.
Yeah.
This is a thorough, wow. And from what people are saying, this really looks like the thing that'll help you get to seeing the world as beauty. And really getting over that duality. God, I remember when I used to fight myself. I'd lay in Shavasana after a yoga class, and like I wouldn't be like two people would be fighting each other inside my head. So,
Yeah, now this is actually a quote from one of my favorite writers, May Sarton,
uh-huh.
who she was a poet. She died in 1995, but she wrote this paragraph, and it was like, "This is me." With
Yeah.
the world is radiant with beauty. This world is also capable of bone-chilling brutality and the small, corrosive daily cruelties that salt our days with sorrow. For a sensitive person to live with this duality, to keep the light aflame without turning away from the darkness that needs illumination, may be the most difficult thing in life and the most rewarding.
Wow.
Right. That's been
I
my
mean,
experience.
I relate with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I would love to say that, she wrote this to me in my work, but um, I want you to all write me
I guess the
that
testimonials are down here. Here's one of them.
testimonials are down a little bit, but
That is the guiding light for how you, structure this course. And I can totally see that because, I mean, as a person that has, fought that duality and tried to keep the joy, like really as it, oh, the joy, the joy. It's one of those things that can take you down fast if you don't know to start to bring forth that illumination, or that you just don't know somebody else sees you. And in this course, I can tell that you really see us. You really understand deeply what it is and how to come to the other side, to have that light at the end of the tunnel, as somebody else wrote in the chat.
oh,
And I
okay.
thought, wow,
I'm like, wow,
yeah,
wow.
yeah, somebody else wrote that too about you. Like, a light at the end of the tunnel. Like, yes, yes. Like, let's have that. Let's have that joy be our everyday, what we fall in love with. There was a question, Karin, from the chat, and I don't know if it's going to go back into the weeds because I really want to talk more about your program, but Anna asked if she said on YouTube chat, she says, can you help me get an invoice of mine paid immediately? It's been 2 weeks and it's really causing me a lot of problems. And I just wanted to point that out because sometimes we get stuck in these little minutia things. And it's, could be bigger than minutia. It could be, how she's, earning her living and paying her bills and stuff. So, do you have any insight for that?
Yes. So I want you to look at that, the person is not going to pay or you're struggling. I want you to look at yippee, something to heal. I'm going to move some molecules. I'm going to move some energy out. And this is going to be a trust walk. And Anna, I want you to come back with me and say, came in. Okay. And what I want you to do is I want you to just basically bring your team in, wings up, belly up. Here's what I want. I'm going to go take a nap and I'm going to go relax. And I want I want this invoice to be paid. I just want them to go, oh my gosh, here it is. If I need to remind them, I want to be nudged to do that. And if I am nudged to do that, they just have forgotten it's someplace else. So just I want I want to just feel the incredible strength that I'm asking to have that money come in. I want it to come in effortlessly. I just want it to come in as soon as possible. I'm going to go ahead and nap and make that happen. And you guys make that happen. And I am just going to get out of my way and keep worrying about the spooky wookies that are why they're not paying. They're unhappy with me. Off to the light it goes. They're not going to pay me. Off to the light that goes. Why do I always struggle? Off to the light that goes. And just keep taking a deep breath, go under the coveys, take a nap for 5 minutes and reboot, but just create your environment and just know that you've put some density into it. When we get worried about things, other people respond to the worry. I've got to worry about something else. And if you free that up and just like make it flow, and matter of fact, I want an apology for them taking so long. That would be nice. Yeah.
Karin, I could do cartwheels over this. Seeing that, I'm so glad I had to ask the question because seeing it in, real life in real time, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm down with this. Yeah. Like, woohoo, let's do it this way. Someone else wrote, don't seek to know the future, create the future, exclamation point. And it says, don't try to change the word worry. It says, try to change the word worry to concern. I'm not sure if that's exactly the energy, but like for what you're describing, but all I know is that like, yeah, this is the way. Like I've done all the struggle. Like I'm like, this is how I want to feel and how I want to create the future. Yep, I'm here for it. I don't know who else is. I'm here for it. Let's go.
And I'm gonna talk about taking the word worry and turning it into whatever the other worry was, concern.
Concern.
If it's easier for you to notch it down like that, then do that. We're all very, very different. That just tells me that worry to concern, you're an analytical. And what's actually happening for you, they want you to feel into things. Because if you feel you've got a wave, you've got this thing you're kind of trying to figure out right now, it's spiritual. If you try to put that in your tool brain, which you've been taught to do, your brain is going to go kaboom. Nothing's going to make sense, and you're just going to go, oh, what's happening? And so don't do that. Just feel into it. And what that is like, okay, I'm really, really worried and I'm feeling into it and like, oh, okay, I'm now at like a concern and now I'm at a mild concern. And now it's kind of even watered out even more that like, oh, what am I thinking about? Oh, I've got this invoice that's going to come in today and I'm pretty excited about it and excited about, maybe calling them up and, pitching a new project. So everything you're doing is perfect. Yeah. I just do it. I just, remove the picture from the Etch-a-Sketch.
Wow. That again is also easier said than done, but I'm personally getting better at it myself just through these conversations and being like, wait, I'm wrapped up in the energy again. You're being ridiculous. Stop it.
Right.
Yeah.
And
And that is the way, just to make another choice to
I
feel
could
different.
even
Yeah.
venture to say that could be easier said than done.
Mm.
Yeah,
Ooh,
right?
well, maybe
Yeah.
that's my spooky wookie. I love it.
Right? Yeah. No, if it's too easy, I didn't do it right.
Right. Oh, shit. Why do I have that one in my backpack? Well, screw that.
Right?
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't want
and-
that limiting flaw.
yeah, and everything is, when we look back and we look at all of the jewels that we've met through the adversity that we've been through, because this is our human experience as God. I mean, it's it's all frequency. It's just all frequency, and it always has been.
The other word that comes up is never look for the reference points. Like, so if something has gotten better, you shouldn't go back in your head and be looking for that. I've learned that along the
Um,
way. Like, so
Yeah, no, I
yeah,
love that. Yeah, don't, because you're going to go back into old energy. You're going to recreate it,
right.
and you're going to have to heal yourself again. It's like
Yep.
going back and rewounding yourself, healing yourself, and then wondering why you keep working on the same wounds.
No, I love it. God, I love these conversations with you so much. I
Well,
think back. We just want to talk to you every single day, Karen. All right, well,
okay, we
that's
can do that. I would love that.
Yeah, right.
wow. Wow. That's so cool. All right. Well, with that said, if you guys are looking for the special offer, you can find it in the chat. You can find it in the YouTube caption. And Karen, do you have any final words? Is there any other words here that come around for us today?
Yeah, just know you've never made a mistake.
I love
If
it.
you've gone through really tough times, you've just collected data on what you don't want and how you don't want to feel. That's it. It's masterful. It was brave. And there's something about it that you really need in order to move forward. You've never made a mistake. It's impossible to make a mistake. And you're just kind of moving forward into your highest and best bliss. There's nothing wrong with you. I hear people say, well, I'm so old. Why is it taking so long? It's like, well, you kind of drug a lot in.
And drug your feet for a lot of years too.
Yeah,
I have
exactly.
myself.
And the other big message that they want you to know is if you're thinking about doing something, if you're thinking about being in service, whatever you're thinking about doing, and you just haven't done it because you want to take one more class, because you want to do one more thing, you're ready to go. Just jump in. One of the other things that has changed with this energy right now is we used to have visions and we'd get clarity, and then we'd have to muster the courage to step forward into it. Now they're not showing us. Now we have to just muster our courage, step into it before we get the clarity. So just you're ready to go. You don't need anything else. Just go ahead and grab your shaking guts in your hand and decide that you're going to count to three. You're going to jump into the middle of the ocean. You're going to die in 2 minutes, and just go 1, 2, 3, jump. And you're going to realize that that water source is just mud puddle, and it was fun, and you are off and running, and just you're ready to go and take the first step. You're ready to go.
Yes. 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 Love it.
Oh my goodness. What a joy. And it feels so light,
Yeah.
like all of this. It's like I
Yeah.
really do, I do feel like it all resonates that you
Yeah.
say. Whatever comes out of your mouth is just like, yes, finally somebody.
Well, it's because it's your soul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Together that.
It's your soul, and it's why you're here, and it's what we're trying to learn how to do. And um, you know, and when we were a slave, throwing a huge pity party really worked for us. It doesn't any longer. I just let's go. Let's just go do it. Let's For those of you who are analytical, they want you to think more about, what could happen? What wonderful gift could come in for me if I did this? For analytical, I want you to engage your curiosity. Think back on being a child when you were playing and learning and curious and, ooh, I can't wait to see what happens here. And what's the magic that's going to come in. And yes, the resonance is because this is who we are. My guides actually speak to your guides and they talk to your soul. So when it kind of resonates, it might feel too light. Don't worry about it. You're not going to get slammed down. You'll just have a spooky wookie and you'll go, oh, yippee, something to heal.
Oh, I love it.
Me
All
too.
right.
Me
Thank
too.
you, Karen. Leonka, do we have some announcements?
Yeah, we do. Karin, thank you so much. We'll go ahead and unpin you so you can enjoy the rest of your day. But thank you, thank you, thank you. It's been such a joy, as always, having you here. A couple of quick announcements. I always want to remind you that a portion of the proceeds does go back to, we believe in giving back to riseup.org, and that's just an organization that is started by my son, actually, who is refurbishing laptops to give back to students who may not be able to afford to have one for help in education and wellness. And then also helps with some of the school supplies where some of the kids can't afford to get stuff. So we always do that. And then also we have Suzanne Alexandria coming up next Thursday. So be sure to join us on that. She's going to be talking about the Mary Magdalene energies and how to bring that into more of our real world experiences and how we can actually assimilate with some of those energies and really learn about what they are for some of us. Some of us may not even be familiar with the Mary Magdalene energies and how we can even utilize that in our regular lives. Also, Jenith has the Rewire that she's been working on these past Fridays and has been recording. It's a really beautiful treat. It's a Rewire Your DNA so that you can, really, well, I'll let you talk about it, Jenith. And that is in our shop right now. Yeah.
It's not officially in our shop.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
You can pre-buy it. It's packaged with the summit that we did on January 25th. So if you want all those videos and you want to join, you can join and hear it on Friday. But what I do is after I get done, I then take the audio from the 5D hypnosis that has my kind of awesomeness energy, which is now evolving. It might have a new name soon. And it has a hypnotherapy session for each one that I've been guided to from my Arturian channel, Art Metis. So that's what happens on Friday. I leave that up on the weekends for anybody to listen to just as an introduction to Rewire Your DNA. This is going to be an 8-part series, and it's going to have these 4 hypnotherapy sessions with a little bit of information at the beginning. And then it will also have a little bit of education on how I really understand how this manifestation works through my meditations. So that's what it's at. If you just want to have a taster of it, I will be here at the same time on Fridays for the next 2 Fridays, and you can check out Rewire. And if you just see it on the YouTube channel, then there you go. You get an introduction to it. But if you'd like to purchase it early, which will be about a quarter of the price, it's $47. And that's just look for the Rewire immersion. I'll also make sure it's in the PS in the next email.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're not getting our emails, be sure that you sign up at houthustle.com, just the way it spells right there behind Jenith. It's houthustle.com. Or if you have any questions about anything that we shared here today, or just want to share some experience that you might be having and listening to the show, be sure to email us at team@houthustle.com. You can always join the party on Instagram, also Hout Hustle Live. And then we, everything that you can, find out about our show, make sure that you're getting all of the updates, get the free gifts. Also sign up at houthustle.com. So everything you need is there. And if you have any questions that is not there, you can always email us, team@houthustle.com.
We do have an inner circle. It's called the
That's
Mystique
great.
Society. So if you're just
Oh,
looking
yeah.
for some ongoing masterminding with great brains like me and Leonka and a bunch of other people, then you might want to just tap your toe in and try the Mystique Society. We meet every month. It's on the second Wednesday of each month in the evenings. It's at 4 p.m. Pacific time. So if that's something that's calling to you, go ahead and check the caption in the YouTube. Used to be called The Lounge, but if you want to go ahead and make your way over there, or if you have any questions about it, and if you're right for it, we're happy to have a mini conversation with you about it as well.
Yep, just shoot us an email and we're happy to just jump on the line and let you know, what it all entails. So team@houthustle.com. Anything else, Janet, that you think of?
No, I think we're good.
Yeah, everyone have a really beautiful afternoon and we'll see you back on Thursday.
Bye, everyone.